Nathaniel Bandy. Striving for originality.
Wario's Goldmine. Wario's Goldmine is a track that has really hit the jackpot. The theme is really interesting and different. You're driving across a railroad. This in itself is a great theme, but it gets even more interesting when you get inside the cave. You kick into anti-gravity and start driving with minecarts. You would think that the minecarts would be bad, but since you're in anti-gravity, they actually give you speed boosts. There's two different routes to take at the end of the track. Both work pretty well. Wario's Goldmine also kind of feels like a roller coaster at some times. Some of the drops are so steep that you don't see what's in front of you for a brief moment. It brings a lot of excitement into an already exciting track. Some of the turns have tiny ramps that you can actually trick off of. They're really satisfying to pull off. Once you enter the cave, you'll hear Shai guys singing along to the music, which is hilarious. The music is really fast paced and feels very western. The ukulele playing is seriously jamming. Rainbow Road. This variation of Rainbow Road is pretty flat and challenging, but it has a lot to offer. There's not too much to say about the track design except that it's basic and to the point. There are a couple of ramps for shortcuts, but most of what you're doing is just about your skill in racing. There's lots of thwomps that will just try to squish you, and they take up a large majority of the track. They continuously blink colors, so not only are they big and scary, but they have an unlimited stock of invincibility! Touching one will slow you down. They do make the track wavy so you can do tracks, but the waves are pretty minuscule and it's very hard to time a trick. The graphics are extremely shiny and vibrant. Everything looks fantastic. I love how there's skid marks that stay behind you after making a turn. The music is not that strong, but it fits with this track. The instruments in this remix are pretty energetic, but it doesn't feel all that exciting for me. Perhaps those that grew with the original will like the music more for nostalgia's sake. I do think this variation of Rainbow Road is fun, but it's a bit on the dull side. I see they were going for simplicity, but it's too simplistic for me. Ice Outpost. I don't think I've ever played a track with so many different shortcuts until now. Ice Outpost is a very different take on an ice stage. Instead of driving on snow, you drive on a regular road but is covered with a very thin layer of ice. The track layout is all over the place. There's two main sections of road, that being the green and yellow side. There's tons of opportunities where you can switch sides of the road to get faster laps. There's also lots of ramp shortcuts that require some precise driving to get across. I honestly don't really use these shortcuts because there's too much risk over the reward. Since everything is covered in ice, your kart is a little slippery, so hopping onto a small shortcut makes it pretty easy to fall down if you aren't careful. The graphics are somewhat bland to look at, but it still looks pretty nice regardless. The music flows with the track, but it doesn't really pump me up to race. The entire track is just very chill and relaxing, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just a bit strange because most Mario Kart tracks have a more exciting and intense attitude. Hyrule Circuit. A track based off The Legend of Zelda? Sign me up for this! You start off in a field and you can collect some rupees. The rupees actually replace coins in this track, which is an awesome addition. For the majority of the track, you're inside Hyrule Castle, and man is it freaking amazing. There's a part where you're driving down steps and there's 3 crystal switches. If you hit all 3 of these switches, the upcoming split in the road will grant you access to a speed ramp right down the middle. Hitting all these switches can be trickier than it looks because you're drifting down a set of stairs. The stairs make your drifts wider than they usually are. The end of the track is the hardest section. There's a lot of quick and sharp turns to make. You'll also need to watch out for the Deku Bobas as they'll try to snap at you from the side. The amount of detail is ridiculous. There's so much Legend of Zelda packed inside here. Just looking at how detailed and magnificent the castle looks is enough to get anyone excited to play Hyrule Circuit. On top of all that, the music is perfect. It feels not only exciting but adventurous too. This whole track is an adventure. You drive across fields, through a castle, and through more fields. There's also a small shortcut that you can take around the middle of the track, but it requires a mushroom. From this cup, Hyrule Circuit is my personal favorite track. What's your favorite track in the Triforce Cup for Mario Kart 8? Let me know below in the comments. Like if you like, dislike if this deserves the Luigi death stare. Make sure to follow my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Tumblr to keep up to date with upcoming videos and projects. Thanks for watching, have an awesome day.